Grind City Wrestling.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Grind City Wrestling, or should I say this is WrestleMania Grind City Wrestling. Hello, everybody. I am Dustin Starr. Thank you for joining us. Be sure to check out the archives. We have some awesome stuff there. It's grindcitymedia.com/podcast. Also, check us out on social media at Grind City Media. Last week, I caught up with Buff Bagwell. He's headed to Memphis, Tennessee next Sunday, April the 21st. We talked to him last week. Check that out in the archive. This week, we're going to recap the biggest WrestleMania in history. Plus, one wrestling company actually played backstage footage of their wrestler being beaten up by another company's wrestler, and I can't make this up. It's the strangest thing that I've ever seen, and we're going to talk all about it right here on Grind City Wrestling, so let's not waste any time. Ladies and gentlemen, it's bell time. Introducing first, my co-host, my tag team partner. He's an A-lister. You can follow him at E_MacLife. Ladies and gentlemen, it's E-Rock Eric McMahon. What's up, E?
Man, post WrestleMania Grind City Wrestling podcast. But you said something, and listen, WrestleMania was amazing. In my opinion, it's still number 2.
We will get there. We'll get there. Like I said, follow Eric on Twitter at E_MacLife. How many are you at now? How many followers you got?
Oh, shit.
You break 200?
No, God, no.
Oh, you lost? Did you lose some?
I may have. Let me see. Let me see this. Let's bring this in right now.
Terrible take.
164.
164. You can follow him right now at E_MacLife. I'm sure there's some really good content on there that everybody's missing out. But right now, let's introduce the third man in the trio. He's one of the best followers on social media, total opposite of E-Rock Eric McMahon, might I add. He's at Devin_Walker 2. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Devin Walker. Baby!
Yeah. I'll start out a little bit on the followers, but we got the Bayley WrestleMania tee right now, ball. That's how you knew that Bayley was going to win the belt, when they start dropping WrestleMania tees for Bayley before the event even happened. So, yeah, shout out to the Bayley tee. I'm not a big fan of like current wrestling shirts, but I saw this one. I had to have it. But yeah, bro, we here. Let's talk about Mania, and we got to talk about this other shit that happened, because this shit happened, bro. Let's move it. Let's go. I don't need your commercials. Let's jump right into the shit.
Crazy. First of all, where are you? Are you in Memphis?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm in the office. We got back last last season, and I scrabbled into the studio, into the office this morning. I'm here. I made it.
All right, we've got a lot to talk about coming up on Grind City Wrestling today. We're going to recap the biggest WrestleMania in history. I don't know if you guys have heard or not. If you watched Monday Night Raw, I'm sure you did, probably about 1 million times. It was the biggest WrestleMania in history. Can I say it one more time? It is the biggest WrestleMania in history.
I think it was, bro. I don't care what E-Rock's going to do. I don't know. It was number 2. Bro, that was the biggest effing Mania in history. It was called WrestleMania XL for a reason.
Hold on. Listen, it was the biggest WrestleMania in history. It was. But in my opinion, like main event wise, it was the second best. Nothing is ever going to top Hogan Rock.
We will get there. We're going to have the argument. I'm just making fun a little bit.
But I'm not, I can't say that it was amazing.
WWE beats us over the head with the patting themselves on the back and such, but it was the biggest WrestleMania ever, according to all the gates, attendance, social scores, all that kind of stuff. So we're going to talk all about that. And I mentioned it at the top of the program. AEW actually aired footage of CM Punk, a WWE wrestler, beating up Jungle Boy Jack Perry in the locker room, who is an AEW wrestler.
I'm not going to say he beat him up. He bullied him.
Unbelievable.
CM Punk is a Draymond Green of wrestling. We're going to talk about that.
Tomato, Eric. Doesn't matter how you look at it.
We're going to talk about that. We got to talk about that. Can we talk about Mania first, though?
We are going to talk about it. We are going to talk about WrestleMania first, but coming up first, we're going to talk about the best wrestling that we watched all week. After this.
Sunday, April 21st, Buff Bagwell returns to Memphis Wrestling. Meet Buff Daddy at our VIP experience and reserve your seat today at memphiswrestling.tv.
Welcome back to the studio. Buff Daddy's headed to Memphis. But it's time for the best wrestling that we watched all week. Who's up first? I think E-Rod should go.
I think it's everybody, so let's just get into Mania.
Yeah, let's get into Mania. Everybody's going to say Mania.
Which part of WrestleMania was the best wrestling you watched all week?
All right. Okay, how about you go first. Give us your favorite part of Mania. Both nights.
My favorite part of Mania was
he getting kicked by Randy Orton.
Dude,
what a kick!
I heard Prime Bottle Boy had to go to the hospital and was actually really effed up.
That was
man, Randy Orton mafia kicked that junk, man. He knocked him down, and then you notice the table didn't break when he hit it. My son said, "Why? Why didn't the table break?" I was like, "Bro, it hurts." I don't know what to tell you.
But I mean, the Undertaker gong was like the best. It could have been one of the greatest moments. And you notice that, like, so the Undertaker gong got the biggest, by far the biggest pop of the night, and then the second gong got a bigger pop. It was amazing.
So you're giving Taker, right? Taker,
yeah.
Here. Okay.
I don't know why, but I did not really expect to see the Undertaker there, and I'm not sure why. I guess because we had seen him kind of, I think, in some of the backstage stuff, walking through, taking pictures, signing autographs. I didn't expect that. I kind of expected, and this is me in no way complaining, because any wrestling fan that's going to complain about that WrestleMania, you are just too hard to please. But I did expect to see The Rock standing face to face with Stone Cold Steve Austin.
And here's my take. And I said this yesterday on the Odds Couples, that I'm fully convinced that Austin was supposed to be there, but there was way too much chatter and everybody was like, Austin's going to come out and help him. And so they last second swerved it and said, Taker, get in there. I'm convinced, man. That seems like something Triple H would do.
Yes, I think Triple H reads the internet a lot. He kind of gives people what they want a lot, but I think with that one, he was like, you know what? If you tell me to go left, I'm going to go right.
Yes,
and I think
you got to take
right. You know,
you kind of got to take. If they want you to go right, you got to take a left before you get back to the right, and that's always been WrestleMania. You don't know, like, just because the Royal Rumble has ended and we kind of know who's main eventing WrestleMania, that doesn't always happen exactly that way. There's still more hurdles, more obstacles to overcome before you get to WrestleMania. Okay, so E-Rock's best part of WrestleMania was the Undertaker. Devin, what say you?
All right, so these two nights of Mania were fantastic. I think night 2 was better than night 1 if we all kind of break it down. All the titles changing hands. Shout out Bayley again. Sami Zayn getting his moment.
Yeah, I was the only one who called that, by the way.
Yeah, you're the only one that called it.
I'm slightly surprised by it, but I do think that the story of the underdog, it was there. People love Sami Zayn, and it almost swerved me to the United States Championship match, because Sami Zayn met Kevin Owens at the curtain in the gorilla position, just like Kevin Owens did Sami, almost like, hey, I did my part. Because last year they won the tag team titles together in the main event. So for Sami Zayn to approach Kevin and make it seem like, hey, now you go do your part. I kind of for a second there thought that Kevin Owens was going to win the title.
Yeah, so he did his thing. We had McIntyre win the belt, send one of the greatest tweets of all time from the ring, and then lose his belt. Great moment, 10 out of 10.
Awesome.
Girls
CM Punk delivers, guys. Is it just me? Even if we don't like him or something, like, he still delivers.
He's good at what he does. But the best moment of all the Manias is, of course, by far, by a long shot, was the 10-year callback in the WrestleMania main event to Roman Reigns' beef with Seth Rollins. For all the real wrestling fans out there, bro, you got effing chills, because you saw, when you heard that music, when that music hit, I can't be the only one when that music hit thought Dean Ambrose was going to show up.
Yeah,
yes.
I think everybody did.
So we were at Dave & Buster's. The place was going crazy. I mean, that cash in, we had a guy jumping up, and he was calling it at the end of the match, and I actually recorded this. It was almost like what you see on the internet. You know what I mean? Like, the guy's calling it word for word, and it happened. It was crazy.
When that music hit, I thought Dean was going to show up.
Me too.
So Seth showed up in the Shield gear with a steel chair.
But they botched the camera shot.
They did botch the camera shot. They messed up the camera shot. But they fixed
live,
it with
pal.
Roman with super punch. But he drops the chair in the ring. He kind of plants the seed. He puts the chair in the ring. He got the job done. He rolls out of the ring. Roman's still there. He gets back in, and Roman's about to finish Cody off. Seal the deal.
It would have been fantastic to have maybe Moxley there, because I felt like the reason I felt like it was Moxley at first, and Seth was the right guy, don't get me wrong, because of that story and everything. But in the moment, I was thinking Seth has already been through a lot. He's already had the match the night before. He lost the title earlier in night 2, so it was like, why would he come back?
L the whole weekend.
He took an L the whole weekend, and then he came back and immediately gets Superman punched down. So I was like, oh no, what is going on? And then
the chair. Roman looks at the chair. He sees the chair. He looks at it. He picks it up. Cody's across from him. Seth's in front of him. Do I go win this belt again for the 1,000th time, or do I get some retribution on someone who stabbed me in my effing back 10 years ago? Roman Reigns picked Seth Rollins, crack on the back. Shout out to WWE. The internet community did a great job kind of breaking this down, because if you go back and look at it, Seth falls the same way Roman did when Seth cracked him in his back, hits the bottom, boom, boom, boom. Roman gets hit with the whatever that move is. What do you call that? Trash. Crossroads. One.
Trash.
Two. It's over with. Cody finishes the story. He beats Thanos. All the baby faces come out. Woo, 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 you did it. Woo. I just think for me, bro, I got chills when they basically did a callback to one of the best storylines ever, and used that to submit WrestleMania XL. So yeah, that's my best wrestling, bro. For me, I was a big Shield fan, bro. So that callback just gave me freaking chills.
Man, you could pick anything you want from night 1 or night 2. WrestleMania from top to bottom was absolutely awesome. I was put in a predicament. They were retiring Marc Gasol's jersey on Saturday. That was night 1. You cannot pause live Peacock. You cannot rewind live Peacock. So I was trying everything that I could, other than just walking around with a microphone in this hand and my phone in this hand watching WrestleMania. So I finally
That's how we did the press conference, though, dog.
Oh my gosh, when we were watching that press conference, Devin, that was the first time we'd ever just marked out and just popped in the locker room watching this stuff. So it was obviously something important. I think the best part of WrestleMania was The Rock. I thought The Rock coming back, he delivered a fantastic match on night 1. What's that, Devin?
Good, man.
He did. Good. He looked in tip-top shape. He's jacked to the gills. You know, he can talk.
Dude, I love the X-rated version of him too.
Yeah,
and I think he's leading the way for Netflix. He's leading us into the next era that will take us into Netflix, where we'll probably have a lot of cussing and just more adult behavior. And I think that they're repping that up right now. You know, this thing happens in 2025. It's already 2024. It's the first quarter of the year is over. They are gearing up 100% to go on Netflix, and what some fans are thinking is going to be uncensored. Now, I did expect to see The Rock in night 2. I didn't know exactly what he was going to do. I thought he would be a little more involved in beating up Cody and all that stuff. But then to have Cena face to face with The Rock, and me being a Cena guy,
the crowd went crazy.
The only thing that bothered me is Cena didn't get anything in. It was like a 2-second interaction.
It's okay.
It is okay, because it's like we got the greatest hits from everybody, which that's at the end of the day, that's what you want, right? The greatest hits.
You basically teased that you could potentially see The Rock wrestle John Cena again. I don't know that we'll see that, but potentially with that tease, you could get anything. And then I expected to hear the glass break. And again, I'm not complaining at all, because when the gong hit, it was like everybody at Dave & Buster's was like, oh my gosh, what's about to happen?
And that's why it was so great, Dustin.
And then,
it was swerve, bro.
40 years of WrestleMania. This man is Mr. WrestleMania. So it totally makes sense. Cody mentioned this on an interview, I think, with Pat McAfee or something afterwards, saying that The Undertaker is the epitome of 40 years of WrestleMania. But then also to continue on The Rock, for The Rock to take the chokeslam, knowing that that's his last bump before he goes and makes this movie, just put The Undertaker over like $1 million.
He had to get up, bro. He had to get up for that chokeslam because Taker was not getting his ass up.
Yeah,
I want to ask you a question before.
Dude,
he's a little heavy.
There's subtleties in this too. It's like not in the Undertaker gear, but in like a sweats and a hoodie, and not doing like the hit and all this. But he was like, you saw like this, like, I don't like you look. Like it was like an organic, I don't like you look. And
American badass.
But that's what made it. It's like, I was the Undertaker on Mark, but I don't effing like you, bro.
Like, I don't have to put my gear on to beat your ass. Yeah,
right,
I don't have to put my gear on to beat your ass, bro. So I have a tricky question.
It's the little things in production like that to me that make it, right? It's like the story within that story is why I'm like, it gets better and better and better.
Devin, 1 second. So I look at the clock, and I mentioned this on another story a couple of weeks ago when The Rock was beating up Cody for 7 minutes on Raw. I looked at the clock and I'm like, wow, the main event is going on this early. You know, WrestleMania night one, what did it end at, like 10:15, after 10 o'clock, something like that? So I was thinking, okay, they're going on at 9. They're going to wrestle for an hour?
They were done like 9:03.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I mean, Roman and Cody can go for an hour. But I was thinking they've got something like really good planned. And I think that diehard wrestling fans might not have been a fan of the run-ins at the end, but I think all of us expected that Jimmy was going to come out. Jay would have to cut him off. We already were talking about, you know, is John Cena going to make an appearance? Is Stone Cold? So you knew that Solo was going to come out. And once that happened, I figured with him and Cena having their beef from the Crown Jewel that we'd get that. And then the stare down with The Rock. It was just boom, 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 boom. It was so good. And the place went crazy.
And I made this point. On Odds Couples yesterday too. Is like, what's next? And they delivered on every what's next. And that's kind of the main, I guess, complaint on the Royal Rumble now, even though the Royal Rumble's awesome, right? Is like, what's the big thing that's going to happen? And then you're underwhelmed by that surprise entrant or whatever. Like historically, you get underwhelmed unless it's Edge or somebody, right? Like that. But I don't care if Stone Cold is there or not. You were not underwhelmed by what's next.
Yeah, totally.
It was amazing.
Totally. What's your question, Devin?
So do y'all know? So Roman Reigns lost the belt, of course. He lost his belt. He had his 4-year reigns over. Do y'all know the last 5 people to pin Roman Reigns?
Jey Uso.
Okay. Ding, ding, ding.
Cody Rhodes. So that's 2. Those 2 obvious.
Yep. Those are 2 obvious ones.
Brock.
Oh boy.
Brock is not on the list.
Oh boy. Hold on. Baron Corbin.
Baron Corbin is on the list.
Dog food, the big dog. Had to eat some dog food that day.
Who's an NXT tag team champion right now with Braun Breaker, who's freaking amazing.
Yeah. So I got the 3.
Got 3. You're missing 2.
Oh boy. This had to be like 3 years ago then.
No, it's the same year as the Baron Corbin one. So one of them is now dead. No, Braun, no. One of them's dead now. Rest in peace. And one of them is he's away.
All right, give it to me.
Rowan, Shane McMahon.
Rowan and Shane McMahon? Which one's dead? Which one's dead?
Is Rowan alive?
Rowan is alive. It was Harper that passed away.
My bad. Wrong.
Yeah, we need to clip that and put that out somewhere. Oh my gosh.
My bad.
You mean to tell me Eric Rowan pinned Roman Reigns?
Yes, he did. Last 5 to pin Roman: Shane McMahon, Rowan, Baron Corbin, Jey Uso, and Cody Rhodes.
Shane McMahon. Not many people pin Roman Reigns, that's for sure. All right, so best wrestling we watch all week all came from WrestleMania. We got a couple more minutes where we. Yes, definitely big round of applause. It was absolutely fantastic. It was awesome. I don't like 2 days of WrestleMania for selfish reasons whenever I want to go. but it was absolutely awesome. So we got a couple more minutes to talk about AEW. And what we should be talking about is we should be talking about Okada. We should be talking about Mercedes Moné. We should be talking about something cool that's happening, like Samoa Joe wrestled Dustin Rhodes last night. So Cody finished his story. Could his brother finish his story as well? There was blood. It was an awesome championship match, but that's not what we're talking about. We are going to sit here and talk about AEW, but we're going to talk about a WWE superstar beating up an AEW superstar on stage
bullying
that they aired on their program this week. Bro. What in the hell is going on?
Less than 5 stars. I'm telling you this right now. And I said at the beginning that I have a take about this. Bro, they're WCW themselves all over again. Who's that dude that took over at the end of WCW? Vince Russo?
Vince Russo. But this is WCW like,
bro, in front of everybody. Bro, you can't do from that to letting Will Ospreay get on a microphone and say what he said. If you saw Renee's face when he said it, she's like, oh no.
I'm going crazy. I'm literally, my skin is crawling off my body because you have this company that has 800,000 viewers. Now, you guys, like, it's not a million. Okay, we could say it's not a million. It's not 800,000 viewers every time they're on television is freaking awesome, okay? And what do you do with that time? Not only do you air CM Punk allegedly choking out, however you want to say, but then you have Will Ospreay go out and literally cut a promo on Triple H. First of all, what the hell are you thinking as a talent? Where are you going to go next? Where's the ultimate goal that you want to be? And don't lie and say it's AEW, because it's not. You want to be in WWE. So you cut this promo. Then not only that, the fans, when the Bucks came out, were chanting CM Punk's name.
Yeah.
How stupid can you be?
And Shivani, if you saw Shivani's face the whole time, he's like, I've seen this shit before.
Yeah, he's over here. You're sitting at the broadcast desk, right? There's a dude in the middle with a mask on. You got Taz over here, and you got Shivani all the way over here like this.
He's like, yo, I've seen this shit before. This is what ended WCW. When y'all were taking little jabs and throughout the last couple of years, it was fun, it was cool. But you spent a whole hour of your programming.
Renee.
WWE.
Renee with a microphone. She's like.
She said. And
she's like, all she can do to stay in the shot and not just kind of crawl out. You know, like, oh my gosh, what are they doing? Eric, what are they doing?
What are they doing here? What are they doing?
They are not producing high quality episodic television. They are producing one-off wrestling shows and not thinking about the big picture. That's why. And I wanted to make this point. One, I want to do a whole podcast, like a visual podcast of breaking down CM Punk's technique because it wasn't all that good. He tries to arm drag him to take his back to choke him. Only got about halfway, but that's the dork in me talking. But here's the one thing I want to say is this storytelling is going to win. That is why people got invested. I mean, there's TikTok compilations of hundreds of grown adults so excited that Cody won, and not because of any other thing other than they told a story that resonated with people, and it was absolutely freaking amazing. It's like anybody who lost their father, it resonated. Anybody who lost their job or had to do something and had to come back up from the bottom up, it resonated. Anybody that had to overcome just a-hole people in their life, it resonated. I mean, telling a story, and that's what made WWE, they went through this bad period that we remember during the whole pandemic when AEW was kicking their butt, you know, and then certain wrestlers wrestling 4 times on a night on a Raw. They weren't telling good stories. They're back to telling these stories, and that's what people care about. They invest in a character, in the story that character is telling, and it's amazing. It was amazing.
And you can credit AEW some part because of that, right? Because I feel like AEW pushed WWE to get to these measures they are now. But if you're AEW though, bro, just stay where you are. You don't have to go on TV and take these direct shots. You thought that the CM Punk video was gonna make people be like, "Oh, CM Punk's an asshole," bro. They played the video, they cut to the crowd, and the crowd's chanting CM Punk's name.
Blinders, baby. Put those blinders on.
Shot yourself in the dick by playing that video. Like, what are you doing?
So Eric Bischoff talks about this a lot on his podcast. Have you ever noticed? He's like, take the Paul Heyman approach. Paul Heyman was always with ECW. He was like, we're the little guys. We're the underdogs. Come be part of us. And where Tony Khan is taking the approach of like, we can compete. Newsflash, you can't compete. You don't have the resources, you don't have the talent, you don't have the big picture mind frame. So do what Paul Heyman did. We're the little guys. Still watch us. We understand WWE is here, but help us get there.
This has been their mentality since day one, because if you guys remember when Cody and Brandy was in studio with us off camera, he was talking about how the ratings and how AEW is right on the heels of WWE and all that kind of stuff. He was extremely confident about it. At the time.
That's what they were rocking, bro. They were rocking at that time, bro.
We have just a couple of minutes. I want to mention Dutch Mantel because he posted something that's echoing what Eric is saying. He said it has to be such good, like simple storytelling, like a fairy tale. I read my kid book every single night. I read 3 or 4 books, and it's very simple. He can follow the story because the next day he'll tell me what that story is. We'll talk about it. It's so easy. And just like Eric said, the story was so easy. It was like a fairy tale. You lost your dad. Now you're trying to win the championship so you can hand it over to your mom and all that kind of stuff. It was very, very easy to follow. The Punk play-by-play, if you ask me, Punk started it. Punk walked up to Jack Perry. Jack Perry can say whatever he wants. You go up and you get in his face. You were the first one to shove him, and then you grabbed him, and then you threw a punch while they were breaking this thing up. CM Punk is the instigator here. He started it. Doesn't matter who cares, but it was him.
He's Draymond.
He's Draymond.
Pool was Jack Perry, and Draymond is CM Punk. He Draymond his ass, and then he walked through the curtain and gave us a 5-star match. Like, bro, it's fine. But the thing is, the whole issue is, why do you feel like you had to play this footage? Why?
Right. It was stupid. And then also,
because everybody, here's why. Everybody, they take the approach of all press is good press. I don't agree with it all the time, but guess what? We're talking about it today. And we're talking about WrestleMania, and we're talking about that. Dude, they delivered on what they want, albeit very short-sighted. They got what they wanted.
And we talk about how stupid they are.
Yes. Last detail is it makes a little more sense. Punk walking through the curtain at Wembley with a smirk on his face. Yes. And he just knew. And then he went out and delivered an awesome match. All right, there's a lot going on with Memphis Wrestling. We have a huge schedule coming up. Check it out.
Join us for Memphis Wrestling Live. Next Saturday, April 20th, Memphis Wrestling is headed to Little Rock for Wrestling Night with the Arkansas Travelers, featuring Kay Toomer, The Gun Show, and more. Next Sunday, April 21st, Buff Bagwell returns to Memphis Wrestling. Meet Buff Daddy live, then head over to Dave & Buster's for AEW Dynasty. It's free to watch. Friday, May 3rd, Memphis Wrestling returns to West Carroll for a huge fundraiser benefiting the West Carroll Touchdown Club. Sunday, May 5th, WWE legend Brooklyn Brawler is coming to Memphis Wrestling. Thursday, May 9th, don't miss Bump and Grind Wrestling 2 at Lafayette's Music Room in Memphis. All tickets are on sale now. Get yours right now at memphiswrestling.tv.
Welcome back to Grind City Wrestling. E-Rock, big weekend coming up. The NBA season comes to a close. What is going on?
I am going to be tipping back more than a few come 5:30 p.m. Sunday afternoon. Dustin, you want to meet me at the bar to have a celebratory drink with me?
Let's have one at the bar because we never do.
And hey, D Walker baby, can you meet us there?
Say less.
Say less. All right, so we're having a beer at the what is this VIP lounge called now? So I don't get it wrong.
Log cabin.
They're like the Sissy's Log Cabin. All right, Sissy's Log Cabin.
And by the way, Ethan has his second T-ball game on Saturday. Dude, boy, was cracking him last game. First ever at bat, nobody could hit the ball. Ethan's up there hitting. He hit 2 dingers, man.
Going yard, baby.
Yeah.
All right, Devin, I know what you're doing. You got basketball, but anything else that you need to mention
basketball,
here?
Man, we're watching wrestling. We're talking about how shitty AEW is right now for doing what they did. And hey, mark my words, by the way, we got 1 minute left on this podcast. Today is April 12th, I think, and we're going to be talking about in a couple months about the beginning of the end of AEW. They WCW Vince Russo themselves by playing this video. That's my take. They Vince Russo themselves. the beginning of the end. What is wrong with you? You were doing so good. Edge is wrestling the best matches he's wrestled in the last 10 years, bro. And you do. I digress.
I'm with you.
He's out. He's out.
Who would have thought we talked so much about AEW the week after WrestleMania? But here we are. He's E-Rock Eric McMahon, Devin Walker, baby, Dustin Starr saying, so long, everybody. You guys want to fight?